You know those short films showcasing Canada's history called Heritage Minutes? Well, the hunt is on for 2 new film ideas to mark the country's 150th birthday.
Wait, Lois. I've got something for you. Here, take it. It's a gift. You never know, it might be worth something someday.
I'm sure you've seen this one. That's the story of Superman created by a Canadian cartoonist. Many of the films are heartwarming stories like that one and also of Winnie the Pooh, but some filmmakers say the series should push the boundaries on more thought-provoking topics, similar to New Heritage Minutes from last year, one in particular that addressed segregation. Tom, are these films even worth the tax dollars spent on producing them, do you think?
You know, we got to wonder, why do we do these? First of all, we do them to make ourselves feel good and get a warm and fuzzy feeling, which lasts about the first 5 or 6 times. And then you go, no, not that thing again. Skip, skip, skip. They fill airtime. You know, when the ad salespeople haven't sold a commercial, they have to fill the minutes somehow. And the technology could be so much better. I mean, they could do 3D, they could do interactive. I actually have a counter proposal. Take all the money you're going to use for this and get average Canadians, pay them, because they pay for these things, to talk about their lives. And then have an Ask Me Anything on Reddit of what it's like to be a window washer in the CN Tower. Something like that would be a lot more genuine. And then you could play that over and over again to fill those minutes.
Or they go ahead with what their plans are. And with that, Kirsten, should they just stick to the feel-good topics then that they've had, or what?
Well, I don't know. Like you said, you know, I remember watching these after school, getting your snack, and a lot of them, this is like to celebrate Canada, right? You would hope that maybe they would focus on the good that we have done. But, you know, I learned a lot about a lot of stuff, you know, like Winnie the Pooh, like you said, Superman, the guy who did the SOS with the Halifax explosion, all that good stuff. So I think really at the end of the day, as long as you're learning something, because I learned a lot. And like here I am many years later and I remember all that stuff. So you'd hope that they focus on the positives of it. But as long as you learn something, I think that's what these are all for.
And we do learn them. And Sean, there's so many stories to tell.
She's missing the best one of them all. How are they not remembering the log driver's waltz?
Oh, yes.
Remember
when it goes cartoon and then into real life.
Down rough waters, that's where the log driver learns to step lightly.
It sort of sounded like that.
It sounded exactly like that. And it was a glimpse into the future because if you remember, as the log driver is making his way down the river on the log with his pole, he does some pole dancing.
Yes.
Because the girl actually turns into the pole and then he spins around her.
You remember all that in detail.
Oh, as a youngster, I was throwing change at the TV because I could just glimpse into my future. I feel like I should be throwing money at that guy.
No.
Yes, no, it's a thing.
Okay,
Shauna, stop, please.
No, let's talk about what then other ones you'd want to see, do you think?
Feel good stuff, diversity in our country. I like the idea that it made us feel good because this is, you know, they can go on and on about the U.S. being the greatest country in the world. I think this is it. And we need to celebrate how wonderful we are.
Totally.
There's too much garbage on TV right now.
Go Canada.
Outside of Alberta prime time, it's all junk.
Lastly this week.
See what I did there?
Yes, you did.
You're welcome.
The greatest show on earth is closing down after 146 years. The Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus is closing after years of dwindling attendance, rising costs to keep it going, and intense pressure from animal rights groups. Alberta-based circus performers, though, are quite sad to see it all go.
I'm sad in the nostalgic sense. I started my circus career with animals. I know what goes on behind the scenes, and it's not what people think. More of the animals are pampered than not.
And Annie there adds that interest in local circuses is still strong. She currently has more than 200 students. Back to you, Sean, first on this. Growing up in Edmonton, you were exposed to this a lot.
You know, when I first saw this story, all I could think about was the bearded woman sitting in a corner crying.
Did you see that?
And
in
the
circus?
rubber man, you know, dabbing a tissue on her tear. You know what? They came to town one time, and I remember my wife and I actually getting a picture with a lion, and there was a piece of plexiglass in between us, which I'm sure was incredibly safe. So you had us sitting on a chair, a piece of plexiglass that smelled like urine, and then a lion on the other side. And it was a beautiful moment. They're getting rid of a lot of great old stuff, but you knew it was going to come. Our thoughts on this kind of stuff changes.
Yeah, people have talked about that for years and years.
I can go through my entire life never seeing a lion, and I'd be perfectly fine with that. Go where the lions are. Go where the elephants are.
Okay, Tom, You have seen this time and time again over the years, though. You've gone to some.
I grew up in New York, so I would go to Madison Square Garden, not every year, but most years of my childhood. And I used to love the smell of the elephants for some reason. It was weird.
Oh, so nice.
But I felt sorry for them in this weird kind of way. And of course, what we've morphed to is Cirque du Soleil, where we have, human acrobats, but also they are, in a sense, human animals. And at least one Cirque du Soleil performer has died. So the reality is we've kind of switched over to that. I think in the future, people, our kids and grandkids won't even know what a circus is. It's going to be as relevant to them as the Kickapoo Indian Medicine Company traveling show. They're going to have to look it up on Wikipedia. So I am sad to see it go.
Kirsten, you've never been, have you?
Oh my gosh.
She said.
I've never been to the circus. I've been to Cirque du Soleil. Tom raised a point of, people in Cirque du Soleil, but I kind of feel like they have a bit of a choice. When it comes to animals, I kind of feel like it's 2017. To be honest, I'm not really surprised. I mean, even just today and yesterday, Dog's Purpose, I don't know if you guys saw this, there was animal cruelty kind of coming around about this. Movies about dogs and everything, and I think it kind of goes back to, I would hope that the circus would treat their animals good, but you know what, at the end of the day, I just think time is time, and if you want to go see the animals, kind of like Sean said, go to where the animals are. If you want to go see them, go to like a rehabilitation place or something like that. I think it's time, and I'm sorry, but bye, circus.
Bye, circus.
Think of all the animals you're never going to see, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't care.
You love animals, though.
I do love animals, but if I never in my life see a real life skink, I'm going to be just fine.
Oh, yeah, you'll survive. Eh?
Thank you.
Okay, time for What's on Your Radar, starting with you, Sean, first. What do you want to highlight this week?
Are we going to show the picture of Rob Williams? I sent in a picture of Rob Williams.
Robbie Williams, our morning show on the
there he is, right there.
Station.
He's right there in the middle.
Edmonton, yeah.
Yeah, that's him doing the polar plunge. It's a big fundraiser for Alberta Special Olympics, and I've signed myself and my wife up for this. She's thrilled.
Clever to bring her into that.
She's thrilled. She can't wait. So we're going to be doing that this coming Sunday in Summerside. If you'd like to maybe sponsor me a little bit. Sean, you got $20? You want to sponsor me? Am I putting you on the spot?
Catch me later.
This is awkward, isn't it? So I'm going to be doing that on Sunday.
It's a plastic world. I don't have cash, but I'll sponsor you.
Oh, sure you will.
I will indeed. All right. Tom, what do you have?
My wife and I are a lot saner than Sean and his wife. We took an online course from Harvard in justice. Now, why do I tell you about this? Online study is so much fun. So I decided to teach an online course in something I know a little bit about called science writing. University of Calgary has me every week critiquing writers, and there's still time to sign up for it. It's a lot of fun. We don't take a lot of participants. What I'm getting is a lot of scientists who go, you know what? I might not get that next grant unless I learn to communicate better. So there's still time to sign up. We start February 7th.
And you'd learn a lot from you, definitely. Okay, Kirsten, you have about 30 seconds. What did you want to highlight?
Well, mine's not nearly as intellectual as Tom's, but have you guys ever had your grandma wingman for you? Probably not.
No.
There is a grandma going viral right now. Her name is Esther. She has helped her granddaughter, who goes to the U of A, nursing student. She's on her Tinder profile. Her glowing grandma Esther is holding her nursing grad photo and says, "My granddaughter is single," and has totally helped her out. She made the front page of Reddit. She broke the internet, and I just love this. I think this grandma's got an awesome sense of humor, and
hang on,
kudos to her.
Anybody got Esther's number?
Yeah, exactly. She seems like a good time.
What's really funny here is that the grandma, she doesn't even know this is happening. She
Yeah.
hasn't seen the picture anyway, because she doesn't
I think
even
she just wants to find her granddaughter a nice, fine gentleman.
Nice gentleman.
I'd swipe left for Grandma. What does that mean? Does that
I don't
sound
know.
wrong?
I think Sean's done talking now because we're going to end it.
Can we beat that?